sports is compulsory for all students, which means if I'm coming into Achimota school, I'm expected to deliver sporting activities. But they gave an exemption, which states for sports is compulsory but some students may be exempted for grounds of, I think, health or something, which means there are cases. They have had such special cases and they provided laws to deal with that. When we get to exits, they provided rules, general exit. But at that same instance, they provided special exits, which implies that they've had situations where there was a need because the general exit was unable to fully satisfy the situation. So they provided special exit. But when we come to appearance right now, we only see general appearance. We don't see special appearance because not us alone. I know Muslims too have this problem of wearing
which is what we've been talking about with Sheikh.
Yes, that's how I understand it. And I believe Ghana isn't a nation where there's only one religion. We have multiple religions, even though some are much more significant. So I think there should be an analyzing moment where we can actually distinguish between harmless consideration and harmful considerations.
Hello and welcome to JoyNews Interactive with me on Peter CBD. Now, what you just watched was one of the students at the center of a controversy over dreadlocks in second cycle institutions. That is Tyrone. And he has vowed not to sacrifice his hair for enrollment in Achimota School. Now, according to him, the school authorities resolving getting him to trim the hair before he's allowed on campus is completely discriminatory. Now, Tyrone is one of 2 students who refused to cut off his dreadlocks as the only condition blocking their admission into the second cycle institution. We will get into that. You've been reacting to that, and we're going to ask you to join via Zoom. But now there's something that's also happening at the Ghana Institute of Journalism. Manuel Kranting is there, and he'll be giving us updates. Manuel, good morning. Manuel, can you hear me? All right, it seems like we don't have Manuel at the moment. Manuel has been speaking to some students. On that note, we're going to take a quick breather. We'll be back with more. This is still JoyNews Interactive with me on Peter CBD. And now let's go to the Ghana Institute of Journalism, where scores of students have besieged the premises of that school clad in black and red. Now, they are protesting a directive from management asking those who paid their fees late to defer their courses for the year. Let's go live to Manuel Kranting, and he will be speaking with some students. Manuel, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Maps. So the picture here, I mean, is just the tensions are just reducing and calming just the past couple of minutes. But earlier, the picture here was the students trying to get access into the premises of their campus. And they were being prevented by officials from the Ghana Police Service who had been brought here early in the morning to make sure that they control the crowd. And in fact, the entire bone of contention is on the fact that some of the students have been directed by the management of the school to defer their programs for a year. The reason for this is that they had missed their registration deadline because they paid their fees quite late, and so the management of the institution is asking that they defer the course. They don't seem to be in agreement with the position of the university. Let me speak to a few of them here who have gathered, and essentially talking about that issue. Well, let me speak to you. You've been here for close to 2 hours and so on. You're asking to be given access onto the campus. What would that change anyways?
Well, for now, we are just waiting to get feedback from the meeting that they went for. We are going to be here until, even if it should be 6 hours, we are going to be here. Until we get positive results, we are not stepping out of this place. If possible, we'll sleep here.
If possible, you sleep here, but why are you here? I mean, we are told that there's a meeting between your leadership and then the management of the school.
That's why we are still waiting for a response from them. And the thing is, until our grievances are heard, we are not living here, and they know what that will mean, because they know what entails in a demonstration. And even we are not even here to demonstrate. That's the funny thing. So if you are not here to demonstrate, personally, I came here this morning to see my supervisor, and only to know that the gates have been locked. And I was like, why? In the first place, if you know that there's nothing wrong with the decision you are taking, why did you then lock the gates? In fact, so there are many questions, we are begging them answers from them. So they should come out and then speak to us to understand the reasons why they have to lock the gate. They have to take even that decision. That is uncalled for.
The management of the school released a statement yesterday. I'll speak to you, lady. I just speak to you briefly. The management of the school, released a statement and said that if you had missed the deadline, you should defer. This is not a new thing. If you miss deadlines, there are penalties for it.
Yeah, but our problem is that they've paid the penalty. They've paid the school fees and paid the penalty. The deadline on the portal is 8th January. So February people paid, March people paid, even I think yesterday people paid. So if you know you let them defer, why didn't you tell them earlier?
Why they even keep it? But what is the reasoning behind the delay in payment of the fees?
So prior to this, I mean, there was a first issue where we had an issue, the fees was increased and we called for a reduction, which we didn't get. But then we were told we would be given some time to be able to pay. Now, aside that, students have, since the last year, since 13th of March 2020, when we were asked to go home, footed bills for their online studies by themselves. The school promised to give us data facility, not for all networks, but for students who are on the Airtel Tigo network. And up until now, we've not received anything. We came to school, had just 2 weeks of in-person studies. The rest of studies was migrated online. Ever since, we have footed all the bills for our online studies, and that still stands till now. We would continue with our exams online. We've never had any in-person studies. That aside, students are coming from all across the country. Some have moved from other parts of the country to come and rent apartments here, thinking that they would have had in-person studies. They didn't get all those things. And so it's just a whole lot of cost on students. And for a student to be able to at least make part payment in addition to a penalty that some of us have always argued that if they had the money, they would have paid the fees. They would have paid the fees earlier so that they wouldn't incur the wrath of any penalty. And they have still paid. And now we are saying that because they have paid after the deadline, they should defer their cost. We honestly think it's not fair.
You honestly think it's not fair? What's going to happen? Well, there's a meeting that's currently ongoing. Well,
yes,
you have an answer.
Even looking at the current situation as COVID-19 pandemic has hit the whole world, yes, we have people who have lost their jobs. Students are paying their fees by themselves, and some of them have lost their jobs because people have tried to manage their businesses and then not to run lost. So most students have lost their jobs and they are unable to pay their fees, and then they struggle, and then now they've paid the fees lately, and now management is saying they should defer. So where are they now going to get the money to pay for the next academic year? Well, yes.
So what are you going to do with management? And this is not the first time you are asking for something which will be turned down. We know when the school fees got increased for the 2020-2021 academic year, you did a similar thing which was refused. If this also gets refused, what's going to happen? You have to defer, no?
Well, for the first one, it wasn't refused necessarily, because as at that time, we had an issue where students couldn't have access to their portals because they hadn't paid the fees for that semester. And we made an argument that the results are for exams and fees that we paid the previous semester. And so we had the result of getting our portals open for us. And as it stands now, we have, let's say, we have a leadership in place. And any decision that comes out of the current meeting they have would also take a decision that goes in line with...
They also take a decision, but they are not allowing you access onto the campus. Have they told you why?
No, they haven't said anything. But see,
they've said nothing.
Yeah. Depending on the feedback that we get from that meeting, we will see whether they will allow us in or not.
Is that a threat of vandalism?
It's just a bit of information. If anything negative comes from that end, then you guys are here and you say something. Because we can't just pay that huge sum of money and then you come to tell us about 2,500. You see, there's so many things. And then you see, this whole thing is so annoying to the extent that you didn't bring that different issue early. Now that we are approaching exams, you are bringing it. So what about Charlie?
Great. So you're hearing these are a cocktail of opinions from the students who have been picketing here. Initially, it was supposed to be a presentation of a petition from the students to the management of the school. But now we are hearing that there's a meeting between the management and the leadership of the students. So just quickly speak to Yasmin Freeman Tete, who has been handling the crowd here.
I'm not Freeman Tete.
Apologies, Freeman. You've been here handling them. What's the situation?
For now, the situation is very manageable. We are trying to see how best to talk to them and for them to calm down. Whilst we wait for their colleagues to feed us back.
They say that you've been brought here to intimidate them and you're not allowing them access onto their own campuses they've paid for. What do you say to that, sir?
What is the meaning of intimidation?
You're not allowing them access onto their own campus.
With the way they are dressed and the way they are, is that how they come to school when they are coming to learn? This is not the way they come to school. Is that right? I could see their posture that they are in for something. Are you getting me? What is it?
Have they shown any signs of threats? I've seen a lot of them just holding their books and their bags, and they're not holding. Some of them say we don't have guns, we don't have knives. So why are you preventing us from?
So, have you seen us also having guns? No. We are only to make sure that peace prevail here. Okay. Is that right?
So that's it. And so you heard, and he's with the Rhino unit, Superintendent Freeman, who is with the Rhino unit of the Ghana Police Service, and he's been speaking to me about the arrangement, the security arrangement. He says that they are only here to control the crowd and make sure that peace prevails up until when they can allow the students access onto their campus. So Maps, that's a picture from the campus of the Ghana Institute of Journalism here, and so we are waiting for the outcome of that meeting between the students and management. Maps.
Thank you, Manuel Quarantine. We'll be coming to you as and when for live updates in our subsequent bulletin. But let's go to Twitter, because trending at #1 is justice for GIJ students, and that hashtag is trending at #1. We'll take some of those tweets. At John DeMello 1 says, it's unfair to tell students to defer after late payments. It's simply unfair. At Belamundi says, I'm told the registration portal for hashtag GIJ has been down for some months, so students who paid their fees before the deadline have not been able to register. They have filed complaints with authorities of the school and nothing has been done. This is unfair. Hashtag justice for GIJ students. Sporty Frank says, GIJ students are always treated as creche children. Obey before complaining has been the norm, even after failing to provide the promised data last year. Fees got increased, lectures back online, data and hostel charges still a burden. Suddenly another one. Hashtag justice for GIJ students. More of the tweets coming up. Hashtag justice for GIJ students. This one is from Kennedy, who says, you do not provide data for online exams. You increased fees despite COVID-19. Still, we know more. Now students suffer pay fees. 1 week to exams, ready, you they come flow. We say make students defer. Which school does that, for Christ's sake? Hashtag justice for GIJ students. Presley comes in with the hashtag and with the statements there from the Ghana Institute of Journalism. Let's see other tweets. This one is from JMF, who says, look at what JJ did to Jimmy some time ago. This quiet guy became violent. We're seeing another repeat of neither stress of the students again. Hashtag justice for GIJ students. Unapologetic motivation, and he goes by the name of Vela_TK. KT, Minister _Glenn says, you owe fees at GIJ, but you were supporting Achimota School on this app, shouting rules are rules. Now how you go write your exams? Hashtag justice for GIJ students. Let's see if we can get more tweets on that matter. And Chris Vine says, it takes the school management years to fix problems associated with student results, but it takes them minutes to cause pandemonium and confusion. This must end. You are because I am. At Abrantia Coffee says, hashtag justice for GIJ students. Current situation. Well, Manuel gave us the current situation there. And then at Philip_Kennedy says, GIJ management has become something else. They claim they're training PROs. And is this how they expect us to handle our publics in future? Can't they just listen to the students, calm us down, and at least give an assurance to do something? It's sad. At Fire_Sunbay says, Osu Harvard has done it again. Well, I know at the end of the day, GIJ student exams matter, so this matter will be resolved. Nana Kwesi says, it's time leaders of various institutions stop abusing power. What crime has the student committed to be going through this harsh decision by management? This is a heartless decision, and that is according to Nana Kwesi. Abdul says, I don't know what informed such decision during this pandemic without factoring the struggle students go through to make late payments. It's sad. GIJ students are in solidarity with those affected. I intend to occupy campus today and support them. Digital media, GIJ students will protest against school authorities. So trending at #1 is that on Twitter, #justice for GIJ students. I'm going to take a few more, and then after that we take a quick breather. Today says school reopens, force increased fees down the throats of already struggling students. Pay before deadline, else pay penalty. Swiftly move classes online. Now students who paid fees before the deadline are to defer 2 weeks before exams. Wow. On that note, I'm going to take a quick breather. I will be back with more. Hello and welcome to JoyNews Interactive with me, Mr. CBD. You know how to join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Now, before we went to the Ghana Institute of Journalism, we were speaking about Tyrone, who says he won't cut his dreadlocks. He won't sacrifice his hair for enrollment in Achimota School. And you have been reacting to that. Let's go to Facebook and see what you have been saying. All right, so Anthony says they should seek admission in another school than expose this small boy to unnecessary stuff. And at Blaze Safo Kansanka says, if truly the dreadlocks is natural, it will definitely grow when cut. And then this one says the awakening. And Frank says, Achimota School from time immemorial, known for discipline and the best order lines in the country, absolutely no exception can allow, a roster admission. Ben Card says he doesn't attach any importance to the education after all. And then Bruce says, so he's asking, so if you have dreadlocks, does it mean you're not disciplined? Some Ghanaians are hypocrites. Eugene thinks, okay, so we won't read Bruce's whole comment. Brad also says, so until when we are Ghanaians, when are we Ghanaians going to learn something new? If this guy was from abroad or even South Africa, they will allow him with the same locks. We don't like our own. And as time goes on, if this same guy made it great somewhere, they will now maybe, claim him or something like that. Chris says, sometimes I don't understand why we're dragging this issue. Majority of Ghanaians have been to SHS before every institution has its own culture, more or less, rules and regulations. Kennedy Aprea says you can't only support his entry into a senior high school and stand against his entry into a medical school, law school. All right, if you support his move today, be sure to support him in future. That's what Kennedy is saying. Fiadeka says, okay, or he's asking if the boy is choosing his hair over education. And Pius thinks that the boy should stay home if he doesn't want to cut his hair. And let's see if we have more comments under Bra Coffee. Man says, go to Achimota SHS now. You'll see foreign students with dreadlocks there. So the question I want to ask is, do foreign students have different rules and regulations? So that's what people are saying on Facebook. You can also join the conversation on JoyNews or on TV. Would like to hear from you. You can also watch our live streams on YouTube. Past shows that you have missed are all on our YouTube. At YouTube. On that note, I'm going to end the show. My name is Mapita CBD. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.